All right, and we are back. It is another glorious Friday night, 11:07 on the East Coast Eastern Standard Time. The legend himself, Dutch Mantel, is here. SP3 here as always. I am Rick Ucchino. Thanks for joining us here on Smack Talk on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook channel. And we got 3 hours of kind of jam-packed television to talk to you guys about tonight. I frankly could have done without watching Rampage tonight outside of that opening matchup, but we will definitely get there. Sid, I know you were fired up for SmackDown tonight. What was your overall thoughts about everything going on that we saw?
SmackDown was okay. It was okay. There was some good stuff on the...
Guys, I'm going to have to drop out and come back in.
Okay.
No problem. SmackDown was okay. There was some good stuff on the show, some not so good stuff on the show. It was a mixed bag, but it was mostly about the promos and angles more than the matches. Nothing stood out for me in ring, but a lot of stuff stood out for me promo wise, and it felt like a little bit of a reset coming out of SummerSlam. And I give them credit for not overloading on rematches. I don't think there was a rematch on the card tonight, so I have to give them credit for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, unless you count that Cesaro and Chad Gable match, which was technically a rematch from like a month ago.
No, that was I think that match was Cesaro versus Otis.
Oh, so there we go.
Yeah, so that I was also going to say that was the exception to the rule, but then I realized that match was Otis versus Cesaro, and then Chad Gable got involved and got the swing. That's why we thought he versed him.
Right, and then today that it was ended up being the reverse. Otis causes the disqualification. We'll start. Dutch, you look much better now. I think your internet is finally working. Can you hear us? That's the question.
Yeah, but you guys are still chopping up, so I get about every sixth word. So I'll just try to use ESP and decide what you've asked me. So, all right. What was the best show, Rick?
Oh, SmackDown, easily, I think. Overall, I think SmackDown, as far as things with driving storylines forward, and there's a lot to get into, I think SmackDown ate up Rampage tonight. I thought Rampage had the better in-ring action. I actually thought Ty Conti and the Bunny had a really good match until the end. And then, I mean, Brandon Cutler just got his ass kicked in the main event for about 15 minutes. So, I mean, that match was what it was. But as far as driving storylines forward, a lot of questions coming in to SmackDown tonight. I thought SmackDown did a better job overall. Sid?
I would say it's a wash.
Absolutely.
I say it's a wash. It was a wash for me. I mean, neither show blew me away. Rampage had the best match of the night with Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express, but SmackDown definitely had the better stories and promos. So it was a wash pretty much, but I would give the edge probably slightly to SmackDown.
What did you think, Dutch?
Oh, I wouldn't give it slightly to SmackDown. I think SmackDown blew them out of the water tonight, to tell you the truth.
Oh, wow.
Because if you really look at SmackDown, all the nuances they had with the Paul Heyman stuff going through, a lot better than SmackDown. You would have really known a difference if Rampage had went another hour. Then you'd be sitting there like, what are they doing? I didn't much care for Rampage tonight at all.
I think part of the thing with Rampage
matches were okay.
The matches were good.
The Lucha Brothers, excellent in-ring technicians, excellent, and you can tell how much more experience they have than the Jurassic Park guys. I mean, those guys were very, very good. You can't take anything away from them.
Lucha Bros are probably one of the best tag teams out there. I think he was laughing at Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Express.
The Jurassic Park guys. I love that line. That's a good line.
That is.
I do love me some Luchasaurus, though, man. Could you imagine a guy? I mean, he reminds me a lot of Kane, but he has a lot of athleticism to him as well, too. So I imagine Kane doing backflips in the middle of the ring. That's what Luchasaurus does, and it's quite impressive to watch that guy work. And I do like Jungle Boy as well. But yeah, man, when it comes to just in-ring ability, you're not going to find many people who can beat the Lucha Brothers. I mean, I'm watching this match go down tonight, and I tweeted this out as well. I want to see Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio wrestle really, really, really badly. I want to watch those two in a match. If we ever got that dream AEW versus WWE pay-per-view, that needs to be one of the matches on the card, hands down. I want to watch those two go, but I don't think that's going to happen unless Dominic kicks Rey out of WWE and then Rey moves on over to AEW to live out his days. We shall see. But guys, we appreciate everybody who is in listening to us right now. If you want to talk to us, get in on the comments right now. Seeing a lot of people talking about Rey and Dominic so far. We will get to those as quickly as we get to that segment. But why don't we start from the beginning of the night, boys, and then we'll work our way through. Dutch, if you have to drop off, which you do. Dutch's internet is not working very, very, very well tonight at all, but we will try to get Dutch's thoughts on things as the night progresses. So, Sid, why don't we start at the beginning of the night? I think it was very smart for them to open up the show with Becky Lynch. Not just because I'm a homer, but there were a lot of questions surrounding one Becky Lynch with the reported big heel turn that was coming up. She requested the heel turn, said she was inspired by Roman Reigns. Were they going to smack us in the face with it this week? How is this going to work out? Because I think we will both agree, and we don't agree very often, but we will both agree the last time WWE tried to turn her heel, it did not work one iota. And
nope. Last two times in NXT, it didn't work either, and she got over more as a face when she was aligned with Sasha Banks in NXT. People don't remember that, but that didn't go well either.
I remember that as well, and I think her big heel turn that happened in 2018, it was right after SummerSlam 2018, that didn't work because the crowd obviously wanted to cheer for Becky. We had been screaming for them to put Becky on TV pretty much all of 2018. She finally gets this opportunity. She bitch slaps Charlotte. The crowd goes nuts. We wanted to cheer for Becky. And then what happens? They put her out on SmackDown the next night, and they're like, oh, you guys really didn't cheer for me. You really weren't behind me. And, we're going to do the paint by numbers. We're going to insult the audience. We're going to do the chicken shit heel crap during the matches. That stuff ruined the Evolution match. That's the only thing that kept that match from being a 5-star match was Becky trying to run away with the championship multiple times. That's not her character at all these days. So I was praying that's not what they were going to do tonight. And what they did tonight, honestly, though, was kind of a slow burn. We didn't get that smack in the face, I'm a heel now. We had Becky come out there, say she missed the crowd, let the crowd enjoy the fact that she was back, said she's not going to apologize for creating an opportunity and taking an opportunity, which is something she busted her ass to get back to. There was a lot of truth in what she said. I didn't see a big heel turn, and I know a lot of people were complaining about that, but I actually enjoyed the fact that they let people cheer for her. They let her enjoy that she is back in WWE, and we didn't get any of that crap that we got the last time. Did she kind of shake off Bianca a little bit there tonight? Yeah, a little bit, but this is going to be a slow heel turn, and I think that's absolutely the right way to go.
I'm still baffled on what they can do to possibly turn her heel because everything, I know it was a slow burn and she didn't go full throttle with it, but there was subtle things she was doing to get heat and it didn't work. She just got cheered more, like saying that, oh, am I going to apologize? No, that usually will get heat for a heel, and it didn't because Becky has always been an anti-hero. That's what got her over as a face, as the man. Sure. So doing that stuff to try to get heel heat is just not going to work. I really don't know what she can do to possibly get heat that's going to be heat on her and not the company. I'm still confused by that.
Yeah, I think, and Dutch, we'll get your thoughts here in a second. Hopefully, you can hear us now. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see what she comes up with.
I can barely. You're breaking up really, really bad, guys. That's why I'm sitting here looking like a damn dunce. I don't even know what you're saying.
Man, so we'll try to get to Dutch's reaction here in a second, but man, it's going to be hard. She obviously has. If she was the one that pitched this, which was the report, this was her baby. This was her idea. Obviously,
I'm gone again.
All right. Obviously, we're trying, folks. Dutch's internet sucks, or at least his neighbor's internet sucks. Obviously, she has something up her sleeve. I don't know if it's going to work, but if anybody, she usually gets things to work when it's her baby, when it's her idea. So we'll see what she can come up with. I'm glad it is going to be a slow burn, and they didn't try to insult the audience. They didn't try to dictate anything. They knew the fans this time around were going to cheer for Becky Lynch. We'll see where it goes. The only issue I had with the opening segment was, once again, we're getting Zelina and Carmella involved, saying that they deserve women's title shots when Zelina is 0 for the century since she returned to the company. Carmella kind of made a little bit of sense because she got punked out by Becky at SummerSlam, so she would want to interject. But man, like, I would have much rather have just seen Becky and Bianca tonight and that be it.
I had a problem even with that. Bianca Belair coming out dancing and skipping and twirling her hair. I'm sorry, Bianca, please. I am a huge Bianca Belair fan. I was mad more than anyone at what happened at SummerSlam. This was not the time to do her usual entrance and skip to the ring. This was a time to actually get serious and come out. I'd rather had her come out and do what Zelina did, was immediately start talking on the mic and walking down to the ring instead of doing her whole entrance. I was like, what? You should be more upset here, and she doesn't come off sympathetic out of all of this, in my opinion, by skipping to the ring, and then her response to Becky. I just was not feeling it. I didn't connect with her in this segment.
Yeah, Dutch, do you have us? It doesn't look like it. It looks like you're shaking your head.
Are you here, Dutch?
Oh man, doesn't look like it. Guys, we're trying. We are absolutely trying here to get Dutch on the screen. Let's try this again. Dutch, you there? Now we can't even hear you. Now we're just getting beeps and clicks. You sound like R2D2.
He's muted.
No, he's not even muted. He's just we're obviously having some issues here.
We're gonna need Sportskeeda to get Dutch Mantel a laptop. So
oh boy, what were we talking about? Oh, right. So Bianca coming down. That was definitely the thing. It did seem a bit off. I would have liked to have seen Bianca be a little bit more pissed off tonight. I definitely do agree with what you said. But then we get a bunch of hijinks. We get Carmella getting involved. We get Zelina getting involved. But then the thing that really kind of brought the whole segment up was we actually saw Liv Morgan tonight.
I agree with you there.
That was a good thing. And Liv Morgan comes out and she starts dropping truth bombs. She's sitting there saying, why the hell are these two supposed to be getting, title shots? When
they lose every week.
They lose every damn week. And they're losing every damn week. She should have said, and I beat both of you, because she did, before she completely disappeared off of television. Becky gets basically, Bianca tells everybody shut the hell up. She says, I want Becky. Becky's like, nah, see you later. It's a tater. She's out of here. That was her big heel move of the night. Dutch, do we have you now? Hello. Check 1. Mic check 2.
Well, mic check.
We got you.
We hear you.
Can you hear me? No.
Yes.
We hear you.
Well, but am I breaking up? Or you guys are breaking up?
No, you're perfect. You're perfect.
About to go into a damn.
You're perfect now.
And what we're talking about, Becky Lynch?
Yes. What did you think of the opening segment?
What we talk about though?
What did you think of the opening?
What was the opening? Remind me.
It was Becky Lynch and Bianca.
Oh, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch. I didn't like it. Because
Thank you.
She was such a big baby face. Now you're asking them to accept you're splitting the people. You're splitting fans. You're splitting loyalty. And that is something that fans give to you, and it's like currency. So you just can't go and just burn it just because you feel like you need a change. It was too quick, too soon, and I don't think I don't think we're going to see Becky Lynch as a heel for a long time.
And that's the
I
thing.
think she may go a month, 6 weeks, or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing that we can debate until the cows come home. I'm glad. I didn't think it was as like she didn't scream heel to me tonight, like at all. Like she was playing the same Becky Lynch character that she always does, which makes me think it's going to be more of a slow burn. We can debate whether or not they should be turning her heel because, and Sid, this might surprise you. I don't care if it is Becky Lynch's big idea. It's a bad one, I think, for me. I would not try to turn Becky Lynch heel right now just because she is so damn beloved, and especially right out of the gate, which is why I'm glad they're slow burning it, because you've literally had people chanting her name for weeks now in anticipation for her coming back. She's one of your biggest stars, easily top 3 biggest stars in the entire company as far as full-time competitors are concerned. She's the most over person in the entire women's division. Big time merchandise seller. You got new merch out. You're selling baby onesies and everything, to say the mom and the boy and the baby and everything else.
See, you think I'm a Becky Lynch hater. She's the most over babyface in the company. Man, female, it don't matter. There's no babyface male who's more popular than Becky Lynch. That's why this doesn't make any sense. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001. Yeah, that was his great idea as well. Let me turn heel. Let me shake hands with Vince McMahon. Let me go heel. It killed his merch sales. He was never as big of a babyface as he ever was before he turned heel. And he got into the role, but it took some time for him to play this paranoid character and get good at it. But he was never as great of a heel as he was as a babyface. That's how I feel about Becky Lynch. Like I feel more so about Becky Lynch than I do about Stone Cold, because like I said, Stone Cold was a very good heel. I feel like Becky Lynch is Sting, Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, because I've seen it 3 different times before she got to WWE, when she was in like Shimmer and the Independents and she tried to be heel and always was popular. She tried to go heel in NXT, immediately went back to babyface when she went against Sasha Banks, and 2018 was the biggest bomb of them all. I'm not saying she's a failure as a heel. She's just really likable. She doesn't have the qualities to be a great heel. She has the qualities to be an all-time great babyface. That's why I don't think this is going to work.
That's why I'm interested to see what she comes up with. And if I'm WWE, I'm keeping it open-ended.
I'm agreeing with you, Sid.
Can you actually hear him?
I'm agreeing with you, Rick. I heard some of it.
I
heard some of it. I'm about to have an epileptic fit here.
The internet is about to kick in. The internet is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm interested to see what she comes up with. And if I'm WWE, I'm keeping it open-ended because it was very interesting tonight. Becky got a huge pop. We knew she would. Bianca also got a huge pop, almost bigger than Becky's, to be completely honest with you. I think there was some of that sympathy there for her based off of the booking, because there were a few boos. There were a few boos mixed in when Becky came out there, and I think that in large part had to do with the booking, which Becky had nothing to do with because she doesn't book the matches. She could have won the title, and they could have done it completely different than what they did at SummerSlam. But man, I would keep it open-ended. I would keep this as a war. Who starts getting booed first and then go the natural direction? What do you think, Dutch?
No, well, it's set up so Becky Lynch is supposed to receive boos right now. So if you go by, why would anybody boo Bianca Belair? Because she hasn't given them a reason to boo her. Becky has, but if you're waiting, you might as well go with Becky right now. I just don't, and I heard part of what you said before. She is so over with that group, with those set of fans, and her merchandise selling. It kind of shocked me they turned her heel and let her beat Bianca Belair in 26 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it was. I'm looking at it and I'm going, what the hell are they thinking? It's their business. They can do what they want to do, but I think they'd
Oh man, somebody
You
asked.
think what?
I'm trying to find it because somebody asked it, and I want to give them credit earlier on in the chat. Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming in, guys, and I'm trying to organize them as quickly as I can. Somebody did ask in the chat earlier, who do you think would make the better heels? Sid, apparently we already know your answer because you don't think Becky Lynch works as a heel. Who would make a better heel, Bianca Belair or Becky Lynch? What do you think, Dutch?
Well, without bringing their backgrounds into it, I think Belair would be the better heel. I think she could be a smart ass. But you can't undo what you've already seen.
Right.
You're always going to go back to that little girl doing her little ponytail in the back, and that's what you're going to associate with her. You just can't take it back and just like all of a sudden, boof, it's all gone. I think Belair, if it's straight up, they both start at the same time. I think Belair would be the better heel.
I always thought, and I've said this before in this show.
Didn't Becky start as a heel?
No, I mean she tried. She's tried a couple of times, like Sid said, in NXT, and then they WWE tried to force her to be a heel after SummerSlam in 2018, and the crowd rejected it, and they still tried to shove it down everybody's throat for 2 months until. All right, they realized, okay, we got some money with Becky and Ronda. Let's let them cheer. All right, go ahead. We'll switch it around, and then Becky was let loose, and that magic run all the way up to WrestleMania happened. But man, I've always thought Bianca had it in her to be a great heel, just because she wouldn't really have to do much different, just a couple subtle tweaks, because she's already that cocky, just superhero type. I mean, look what she did. Look what she did in the Fatal 4-Way tonight, the elimination match tonight, pulling Liv Morgan off of the ropes and then just basically deadlifting her up into the suplex position before dropping her. I mean, she's absolutely incredible. She is fantastic in the ring. She's got that cocky attitude. She would be a natural heel for me. But if the crowd wants to cheer both of them, that is going to make for an interesting dynamic as we head into Extreme Rules, which this match has now been made official. It is going to be, they're already running ads, I believe, in Columbus. I saw that on Twitter. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. Probably going to be a stipulation added to that, I would guess. Dutch, do you think they're rushing this matchup a little bit? Because this is a big matchup.
I do.
I wouldn't put this on Extreme Rules.
But they're rushing it because they don't have anything else. We've talked about this. That bench, that reserve bench, is very, very thin. Those first stringers, you have one drop out. You don't really have anybody to replace anybody. That little Vega girl, they've beaten her like a drum. And so Carmella too. There's probably some value to them, but you just can't keep putting them out there and beating them. I'm starting to feel sorry for that little Vega girl. She's a little bitty thing anyway. I mean, those girls like Andre the Giant around that little girl, and they're beating the crap out of her. And she's going out there, and I like her. I really do.
She's great.
To me, with that WWE, they are so predictable. The in-ring to start every show with the same people over and over and over and over again. And just break it up a little bit, guys. Break it up. But they're not even doing that. It's the same people that we've been seeing 2 months ago. Yeah,
when there were rumors that Sasha was dropping out, we're sitting here going, well, who the hell can they replace her with? Becky Lynch was the only option. Think about that. The only option was somebody who hasn't been with the company for 16 damn months. That was it. It still baffles me what they did with Liv Morgan, who got incredible pops from the crowd heading into Money in the Bank. They built up that nice storyline there with Sonya Deville heading into it. She doesn't win the briefcase. They give it to Nikki ASH instead, and then we didn't see her again until tonight. And she was great tonight. Great on the mic, great in the ring. Once Zelina and Carmella were out of the way, I really, really enjoyed the chemistry and the work that was done between Bianca and Liv, I was actually pulling for Liv to win this match because I would have liked to have elongated it. I would have liked to have seen Becky and Bianca get pushed off. Maybe you bring Sasha Banks back and make it a triple threat because she's still floating around out there somewhere, we presume anyway. Push that off to Survivor Series. It doesn't look like we're getting Brock and Roman right away.
I think that's why they're giving us Bianca and Becky now at Extreme Rules, because they're going to go to the triple threat at probably Survivor Series. I think that's what they're going. That's what they're aiming for, because by then, whatever's going on with Sasha Banks, whether it's a personal issue, whether it's COVID-19, it will be all solved and squared up by the time they get to Survivor Series. And that's a big time matchup. The three big stars of like this year or the past 2 years, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair. It's a big time matchup, so I could see them going there. And plus, with Sasha being there, you have an actual heel, so she can be the middleman between two hot baby faces in Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair.
There is a part of me though that would have liked.
Why is Becky Lynch out?
Huh?
Why is Becky out?
You mean Sasha?
Why is I'm sorry. Why is Sasha? I'm sorry.
We have no idea. Still don't know.
Hasn't been announced or said. Hasn't been announced or anything, so it's confusing.
Yeah, so we'll assume she's going to be back, but until she's back, you know, I'm not going to speculate on where she is or what's going on. Obviously, it's something major if they pulled her out of SummerSlam. I believe the reports were 8 days. I think they knew 8 days ahead of time that she wasn't going to be there, and then they busted out the hammer and hit. In case of emergency, break glass. Here's Becky Lynch.
They advertised it. They sold shirts in the building. My friend bought the shirt for Sasha and Bianca, and he looked like a damn fool after the show. He's doing our review on True Hill Heat, and he's wearing the shirt. He's like, I bought this. They showed me the video package, and then they told me she wasn't there. They knew the whole time. And then it was just like, hey, Becky, confuse the fans and make them forget that we just false advertised for a whole goddamn week.
I actually like the swerve, though. I thought the swerve was very well produced.
Yeah. And
then the bell rang, and then, yeah, it was bad booking. It was bad booking.
It was over.
Biggest Becky Lynch.
The magic was gone.
I was losing my damn mind so much in the press box. I'll fully admit it. I was homering out. I was shaking just like the rest of the arena. And then before I even knew what the hell was going on, the match is over. And I'm like, wait, what? I missed the whole damn thing. Luckily, though, I was able to watch the whole thing on replay.
What did they do in the crowd, in the arena?
I mean,
what was their reaction?
It was still a massive pop. Like, honestly, it was. And I think it was more, holy crap, Becky Lynch is back. She's a SmackDown Women's Champion. It didn't really hit people that they just squashed Bianca Belair. It wasn't until, like, we were all able to collect our thoughts. Like, even me, like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, man, what? Bianca was terrible. What the hell just happened? It was a very delayed response because it all happened so fast. And I think initially everybody was just excited that Becky was back. And it was like, oh, crap, Becky's a champ. You knew the second that her music hit, she was walking out the champion that night. You knew she was. She wasn't going to lose in her first match back. And then, boom, she wins in 26 seconds. That was the confusing part. And I'm hoping, I don't have a lot of hope, but I'm hoping it all makes sense and it comes down the line. Would you have Bianca win the title back at Extreme Rules? Would you have Bianca win the title back at Extreme Rules in a few
Get him.
weeks?
I'm missing a question, Rick.
Would you have Bianca win at Extreme Rules?
I still missed it.
He said, would you have Bianca?
Would I have her win at Extreme?
Yes. Would you have Bianca win the title back?
I can hear you better, Sid.
Would you have Bianca beat Becky at Extreme Rules?
Hey, once hit. I think it started wrong. I agree with you, Rick. It started wrong. Now you're trying to fix a wrong but you don't really know how to do it. I wouldn't know how to do that. It's not how you start sometimes, but in this case, it is. They started wrong. So, and I don't know if there is a fix even available for it. What do? You never split your crowd on a long-term angle because it's going to hurt your business.
The only saving grace for either one of these women is it is Extreme Rules coming up. So there's going to be some kind of stipulation, I would guess, that would kind of help protect the loser in a certain situation. And maybe that's where Becky makes the full-on turn, is at Extreme Rules, where she does something nefarious. Hopefully not the chicken shit crap again, because that's not her character at all. I don't want her ducking Bianca Belair. I want two strong, powerful women just beating the hell out of each other. And if Becky has to take a shortcut to win, that's fine. But don't run away. That's not the man character, and I hope that's not the change that they make. I'm interested to see how this goes.
But you still have Sasha. You still have Sasha floating around. So if you were going to do something, you would have to figure her in on it.
Yeah, and
you
Sid,
just can't leave her sitting there for it.
I think if Sasha didn't have to leave, she would be the SmackDown Women's Champion right now. I think Bianca was going to lose at SummerSlam regardless. Because I don't think they would take the title off of. I mean, maybe. I'll say, what's your thoughts on it? Because to me, it screams like she was going to lose regardless.
I mean, I think I've said from the beginning that the Becky Lynch coming in is a direct product of Sasha Banks not being available, because I think they would have held off on Becky coming in. But if this is Becky's idea to be a heel, then maybe Bianca was going to win all along, and Becky was going to come out and maybe attack her at SummerSlam. Probably would have been maybe a better idea of what to do. I think that they scrambled due to Sasha not being there, and they set everything up nicely. I agree with you. The return was perfect until the bell rang. But yeah, like Dutch said, they're starting off on a wrong foot, and I think that's why we're spending so much time talking about this, because it's very baffling on what you do next. Because, you know, if they're gonna do this a slow burn, then great. Let's do it a slow burn, but I don't see this panning out as great as Roman Reigns has gone. And like the reports have been saying, Becky Lynch got this idea from Roman Reigns going heel. But Roman was the same goddamn character for 5 years before he changed it up. Like, Becky, when you were here in 2019 going into 2020, your character was getting stale then was the perfect time to change the man character into a heel, because you were jumping the shark with it to the point that people were starting not to like you and you were too dominant. That would have been a great time to turn heel then. But you can't be gone for 16 months. We miss you. We want you to come back. There's no babyface equivalent to
and
you
have a baby.
And have a baby makes you connect with the fans in an even deeper way. Someone like me who just had a kid in the past year and a half. Someone like Rick in the past year and a half has had a kid. We connect with you more. I'm somebody that really never really was the biggest Becky Lynch fan. I was a big Becky Lynch fan when she was like underutilized, and I wanted her to get on TV. Then she turned heel. I was at that Brooklyn show after SummerSlam 2018, and I was one of the fans that were cheering her as she's telling me I'm an idiot and I wasn't rooting for her. I was cheering for her. Then when she went against Ronda Rousey, that's when I was like, nah, I gotta ride with Ronda over her. But I wanted to see her come back after the past 16 months. And I understand that me and Dutch and you, Rick, have been saying for months, there's no male babyface that's on the level of Roman Reigns. But guess what? There is a female babyface on the level of Roman Reigns, and that's Becky Lynch, and you just made her a heel. It makes no sense.
Becky Lynch is the person to slot in and take Daniel Bryan's spot as the top babyface on SmackDown. We've been asking who's going to step in, who's going to be the person to take it, who's on that level, that Daniel Bryan level. Becky Lynch is on the Daniel Bryan level. There's no question about that.
But I think there's a big difference between the women and the men.
Yeah.
You may not agree, but to me, that's a whole different dimension that I can't explain it. But, you know, that Daniel Bryan, as over as he was, I don't think you can find the opponents for Becky as a baby face to match what, say, O'Brien could find. I think it's easier to make a male, a heel or a baby face, a lot easier than a female. Do you think that? Anybody thinks that?
I mean, I see that with the females, it's easier to create a heel, in my opinion, with the females. Like someone like Bianca Belair, like Rick said earlier, all you have to do is tweak her character a little bit, because she was a great heel in NXT but she was starting to get over as a babyface, but she had a lot of qualities that she was so cocky. She was the EST, the baddest, all of that cockiness just ran through, and it exuded, and it overcame the fact that a lot of fans were liking her, and you don't even go here. I would have loved her to bring that back with Becky Lynch. Like, you were on Raw the last time you saw you don't even go here. How do you have the SmackDown Women's Championship? And they could have went with that, because I think they should listen, something they don't do usually. Listen to the fans. The fans don't want Becky Lynch to be the heel, but you have gotten Bianca over to the point that if she's whining and complaining about how Becky Lynch just beat her, she can easily be the heel here.
Yeah, but this is the difference, and this is where the report came in. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Dave Meltzer who reported that this was Becky's idea. This was her pitch. This is something that she wanted to do, and WWE, to their credit, listened to their superstar and said, okay, what's your idea? Yeah, we like it. Let's go with it. Let's give it a shot. I don't think WWE would be dumb enough to bring Becky back and go, all right, let's slaughter our cash cow here and turn her heel. Becky had to talk them into this.
Yeah.
So she obviously has something. We'll see what it is. There, again, a couple developments that I really liked in that opening segment. One, slow burn for the heel turn, which I think is the right call. And two, we got Liv Morgan back. She had a great showing. Now let's continue to build her. Don't park her ass on the bench next week. If you want to park anybody on the bench, Zelina and Carmella, they need a timeout now. They need to just chill, regroup, maybe form a tag team or something. I don't know.
We're going to keep seeing them because, like we've just said, there's no real heel females now on the roster except for them.
I think you have a great heel. You have a great heel that they haven't really used yet, that the main roster fans don't know yet, and Toni Storm. We don't know what she is.
She's a baby face. They already said that she's a baby face. That's where Becky's gonna go to. That's what Becky's thinking is. Let me be a heel. I can feud with Bianca. I can feud with Toni. I can feud with Liv. That's what Becky is thinking. But I mean, we know and hear the fans, and I don't think Becky is hearing them yet. And I think over time, it's going to take over time for her to realize that maybe I should just be the man again. Maybe I should just be popular again.
You made a very, very good point, because I know Becky would want to come back and work with the other talent, because as Dutch ducks out again, took the wrong thing off. No. All right. Anyway. So that's a very, very good point, because if Becky is the man, who's she going to be feuding with? She's going to be feuding with Sasha. Bayley's injured. That's the only thing that would have been really, really great, because that's one thing that we haven't seen. But she'd be feuding with Sasha. She'd be feuding with Bayley. Oh, well, then we'll move her over to Raw, and she'll be feuding with Charlotte. Been there, done that, bought the T-shirt.
Exactly.
She does want to work with some new people, and all of the new people are baby faces, so that at least explains it from Becky's perspective. Okay. Let's see how we get there. One other woman that could be a big-time heel on SmackDown. I'm hoping this is the direction they go. Sid, we saw Naomi tonight. Yes. Naomi finally back. Nobody knew she was on SmackDown, including Sonya Deville. She walks in. She's like, all right, I'm here. Where's my big matchup? And Sonya's literally on her phone like, oh, I didn't even know you were here. I guess Adam Pearce brought you over and didn't tell me about it. I'll think about it, and we'll get back to you next week. That was such a WWE actually does pay attention to the internet thing.
Yes.
That was definitely WWE going, oh, they think we hate Naomi. Let's use that in a storyline. And I think this is going to lead to a big heel turn for her. I'm hoping it leads to her joining the Bloodline at some point.
Absolutely, because what did Sonya not do? Sonya didn't acknowledge Naomi, so it's a perfect segue for her to try to get the acknowledgement by aligning with her husband, by aligning with the tribal chief, and aligning with the Bloodline. And the Bloodline has another goal to get. They can get the SmackDown Women's Championship, and they can complete their whole forte and be all the gold surrounded with them. So I love that idea, and it's an idea I've heard a couple of times from different people. And yeah, Naomi, I think the Glow character is great. It's a great babyface role, but she needs to do more. She needs an opportunity to be a heel, and that's the perfect plan to do it.
You want to talk about being the same character for 5 years? Didn't she debut the Glow character in 2016? 2016,
yeah,
about there. So we're getting there. We haven't seen a new elevation of Naomi, and that's where I think also Becky is trying to get ahead of the game here. Is she's trying to change and evolve when it might not necessarily be the best time. Kind of like cutting like an all-star player a year before they turn into a pumpkin. That kind of situation. She's trying to get ahead of the game and change it up before she does get stale. As you said, she was getting a little bit stale with a portion of the fan base after WrestleMania. I know there were a lot of people who wanted to see her lose to Shayna Baszler, and then she beat her, and then she left, and we all cried, and yeah, it was a nice moment, and I almost teared up when she came back. But when you look at the SmackDown Women's Division, and I know that they are going to be changing up the rosters here soon because the SmackDown Women's Division is stacked. You wouldn't know by the way that they book them, but they are stacked. There is a ton of talent on that roster now, which is incredible considering they gutted it down to like 6 people just 3 months ago. But now you're 10, 11, 12 women deep. We didn't even see the women's tag team champions tonight. They used them more on Raw than anything. We didn't see Tegan or Shotzi tonight. We didn't see Toni Storm tonight. But if you were able to turn Naomi heel and put her with the Bloodline, that immediately elevates her into the main event scene. So now you got Naomi. Now you got Bianca. Sasha, if she comes back. You got Becky Lynch. And oh, by the way, few more months down the line, Bayley gets better. Holy shit balls, pardon my French. But my God, you don't have time to put Liv Morgan. You barely have time now, but you don't have time to put Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina on a 2-hour show. Ship them over to Raw. You got your 5. You got one more than a Mount Rushmore right there. I mean, if they play their cards right, which is a WWE, they don't always or often do that. But if they play their cards right, they got some magic here. And I'm hoping this is the direction that they go with Naomi. I'm just happy, first and foremost, she's back on TV. And it looks like they have a plan.
Yes.
It looks like they have a plan. Let's hope they follow through.
Hopefully. My fingers are crossed. So this was a good start tonight, at least.
And, you got to give them a little bit of credit. You can't get everybody on in a 2-hour show. They've been neglecting a lot of talent on the female roster leading up to SummerSlam. We got Liv Morgan tonight. We got Naomi tonight. Maybe next week it's Toni Storm, Mia Yim. Possibly we see, some other surprises mixed in there. Maybe we get a call up with Dakota Kai sooner or later as Paul issued. I think she's needed more on Raw.
Yeah, definitely.
Right now, I would not add another body to SmackDown. In fact, we need to orchestrate a trade and send some people back over to Raw for Naomi because you got too many people who are.
I think Mia Yim was the person that they traded without announcing it over because she's listed on the Raw roster now.
Well, no, she was listed on the SmackDown. She was on Raw with Retribution, and they
no. When Naomi went to SmackDown, they shifted her. If you check WWE.com, she's back on Raw.
See, I don't trust that. I don't trust that because they're never accurate. They never line up unless they can somebody. They never update that thing. But if they make sure that they're not an active superstar anymore, they pop them off.
When they did the update and put Naomi on SmackDown before she was ever on TV, they put Mia Yim back over there, which makes sense because Keith Lee is over there. So
yeah, we'll see. She'll probably end up getting drafted over to Raw. Probably we won't see her until after the draft. But again, that's just another woman that is just rotting on the bench right now and needs to be used. It's exactly. Chris chiming in. Forgot about Mia Yim.
Sweet
AKA
Jesus.
Reckoning. Holy God, man.
Hey, she's doing better than what was the other one? Retaliation. Retaliation. She's
Oh.
doing better than her.
Yeah, Retaliation is not with the company anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd rather get paid to do nothing than not have a paycheck. That's for damn sure.
Hey, I heard the catering's good, so you get paid to eat the catering. I mean, that's a pretty good job. Pretty good job.
Catering was better. I'm not saying it was WWE, but catering was better at WrestleMania than it was at SummerSlam. I'll just say that.
Oof.
Raymond James, better food than Allegiant Stadium. Although that stadium in Vegas is beautiful.
It was beautiful even on TV.
And Vegas, the Raiders, they have a massive home field advantage. When that thing is packed, because it was only 4/5 full, 51,000 people or 45, whatever the hell the actual number was. When Becky and Brock came out, the building was shaking. Incredible atmosphere, incredible venue. I hope to go back and watch my Bengals beat the Raiders one day in Viva Las Vegas. So let's move on because we have spent now 45 minutes talking about the women's division and we still have 2.5 hours of programming to get through. So let's do the speed round, shall we? Let's talk about Happy Corbin here real quick, my good sir, because I called that shit, did I not?
Great job.
What did I say last week? I said he's going to go to Vegas. He's going to bet his last dollar. He's going to get on a heater. I was hoping they would do all these vignettes at SummerSlam. Like that would be his role at SummerSlam, as we could follow him throughout the night, because they wouldn't let some bum into SummerSlam, right? That would have been my hope. They wouldn't even let him into Allegiant Stadium.
I would have took that over the squirting segment with Xavier Woods and Miz and Morrison.
Please never say the squirting segment again on this.
No, that's why I said it. That's why I said it, because I knew it would sound.
I disagree with DJ Eric. Okay, anyway, but thank you for the super chat. He says more Kenny Bowl. Maybe we do need Kenny to tag in since Dutch's internet just died, or maybe Kenny can loan him an Ethernet cable or something like that. We shall see. If you guys want to send us a super chat, guaranteed that it gets in. We will get to your comments. I know there's a ton that I'm trying to get to, but again, my mind just spaces as we are getting a lot of comments.
Yes.
But Happy Corbin, which we appreciate, by the way. Keep them coming.
We got two more super chats.
Oh boy, PWO. I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. And I know, Ozzy, I need a new suit. Damn it, man. I get it. Jesus.
We need you to get the hat like Happy Corbin.
I'd love
it.
Hat like Corbin.
We need happy Uchino.
I'm always happy. I live a great life. I'm always happy. I'm always smiling on the outside. Anyway, so we see all the social media vignettes rolled into one for one Baron Corbin. He wins a ton of money in Vegas, which, if you want to know, wrestling is scripted. Nobody wins a ton of money in Vegas. I sure as hell didn't. When I was there, I got up $200 and I lost it in literally 5 minutes. It was insane. And I don't want to.
I would have told you to just keep the money while you had it. When you were up 200, I should have been your gambling associate, man.
You would have been a better influence than Jose G. That's for damn sure. That's what I'll say. But
I could have told you that.
Corbin wins a ton of money. He comes back. He's driving a $300,000 car. He's in a $100,000 suit. He's got a big old smile on his face, and he debuts that name that we knew from reports that they had been trademarking. We knew this was going to be the end game eventually. He shows up. He debuts Happy Corbin. It's almost like WWE watched our show last week, Sid, and went, that's a hell of an idea. I think that's what we're going to do. And I'm gonna give myself the old Tommaso Ciampa here and pat myself on the back because I don't call things. I don't call things very much, but I like.
You're Nostradamus. I'm Negrodamus. We're a good team. We're a good team.
Love it. That's our tag team. the Damuses, the Dominators,
the Dominators.
But I'm punny today. Anyway, so. What did you think? Happy Corbin. I know you and Dutch were big fans of Corbin begging for money. I wasn't so much. I like the destination, not the journey. What do you think about the destination now that we've landed at Happy Corbin?
I've loved the journey. I love the destination. I love where we're at now. It's all great. It works. It works for Corbin. The destination, you needed it to get people back invested in the character. Whether, they were cheering him, whether they were booing him, people were finally invested into Corbin again, like me, like Dutch, that criticized him for so long when he's King Corbin, even though he's adequate in the ring. We need something. We need a character. And he was these lame characters for so long. The Lone Wolf got lame. Then he was the Constable. That was lame. And when he was blamed for Raw's declining ratings. Then, Applebee's Corbin, that was lame. King Corbin, that got lame, especially after he started feeding dog food to Roman Reigns. And we had to eventually get back to a character that could get people invested. The down on his luck got us invested. Happy Corbin's gonna keep us invested. It's all good things. And yes, like Paul said, I like Baron Corbin now. So if this was the goal in the end of it, they reached it. I am a Corbin fan right now.
Can we get the tape? Let's get that on tape. Let's tag Baron Corbin because he has made SP3 a believer.
You made me a believer. You can unblock Sports Keto Wrestling now, Mr. Corbin.
I forgot he did that. Was it an article that you wrote that got us blocked by Mr. Corbin?
I would never write an article on Corbin back in those days, but now I would.
Hey, you know what, man? There's no such thing as bad publicity. As long as people are writing about you, that means they give a damn enough to write about it.
Exactly. I did not give a damn enough to write about it back then.
I have always liked the potential of Baron Corbin. I have not really enjoyed anything that he has done or the company has had him do. And this is something that you called me out on Twitter for. I can like the man and not like what he's doing. And I did not like the King gimmick because they didn't book him accordingly. They just turned him into a joke. I didn't like the dog food crap. The Lone Wolf stuff was okay. And then they tried to make him a lone wolf who wasn't lone, like they just watched Airheads. And then, they put him back to the King gimmick. And then now he's a bum begging for $100,000. I like the destination now. This is interesting to me. I'm going to reserve full judgment on it until I see how he's booked, because tonight, yeah, go ahead.
I just came up perfect feud for him. Happy Corbin versus Cameron Grimes. Give me that 3 times on Tuesday. That's the destination. That's what we're leading to, because every great character, you need your perfect foil. How is he and how is not a perfect foil? The guy that was down on his luck, that eventually went to Vegas and got money, versus the caveman that put his money in Bitcoins and GameStop and got to superstardom and became the new $1 million man. Perfect feud.
The only problem is we kind of have seen the rich guy versus rich guy with LA Knight. So
LA Knight's not technically rich. He just has lavish things. He was never really rich. That's why he needed Cameron Grimes to be his butler.
That's fair. Connecting people through wrestling says there's no such thing as bad publicity, but there is such a thing as reading poorly. I want to see how they're going to book Baron Corbin, because this guy has been losing matches consistently since he won King of the Ring 2 years ago now. I'm hoping that Happy Corbin will be Lucky Corbin, and he'll actually start winning matches, and he'll start winning dominantly. He'll get to show off that fantastic moveset that he has. He'll be able to actually put on a great match in Sid Puller III's eyes. He'll finally put on that great match for you, sir. I'm hoping that's the case. Tonight, what we saw was him trying to buy Big E's briefcase, which was hilarious. Big E made a lot of that segment, pulling out the Arkansas Razorbacks plush. I love the crowd going nuts, begging for him to chuck it, until Corbin was like, all right, throw the damn thing, so they'll shut up. All of that really worked for me tonight. I like, even when Corbin like bantered off, like did the chicken shit heel stuff, it really wasn't, because he was just like, whatever, I'm rich. I don't need your crap. I don't need this right now. I'm fine. I don't need to get in a fight with you. So that worked for me. I'm hoping this will lead to big things for Baron Corbin, because this Baron Corbin character I could see as a WWE or Universal Champion down the line if he's booked correctly. Like you said, this is the first character that he's really had that has made him interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm interested by what they're going to do with him.
I think WWE opens the door to have a full circle type story, and Happy Corbin beats King Shay Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. I think that should be his first goal before we get to WWE and Universal titles. And guys, keep it coming with the super chats. You guys are killing it with the super chats. We want to help Down on His Luck Internet, Dutch Mantel get a laptop, and we're trying to get a second show called Judge Dutch Mantel. So we need more super chats so we could continue being the top draws on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. So $1 or more, it helps get Dutch a laptop and a gavel for Judge Dutch Mantel show.
Yes. By the way, Paul, I actually thought about this. I thought Big E should have sold the briefcase and not the contract. I thought that would have been a great way to get over on Baron Corbin. I thought that was I was actually thinking that's where they were going, because as Paul pointed out, he was asking for the briefcase. He wasn't asking for the Money in the Bank contract, although he did kind of say, yeah, but you could cash it in and lose because that happens to people. And then he was like, what happened to you? And he's like, yes, what happened to me? I'm trying to save you from that. I thought that whole segment worked tonight. I'm interested to see what happens with Baron Corbin from here on out. And thank God he shaved, he showered, he got a new suit. He's looking good. He's looking good. And let's see where this goes. The other thing that I'm interested that really had me interested was not only did we have Happy Corbin tonight, we had Happy Rollins. We had that backstage interview where he just got this Joker-esque smile on his face after losing to Edge on Saturday, which was a fantastic match. Loved everything about that match.
Match of the night.
From Edge coming out into the Brood and through the fire, and I literally loved everything about that match.
That was the match of the weekend until Walter versus Dragunov happened.
I would agree with you. I thought Roman and Cena were very, very close.
Yeah.
To Edge and Rollins. It was really hard for me to pick between those two. But once I went back and watched them both, on network, I would go with Edge and Rollins. But Seth Rollins tonight, man, he gets this weird smile on his face. And then he's talking about how, he appreciates Edge and he congratulates Edge and this, that, and the other thing. He's like, you know what? If I need to get back to being the Universal Champion, I got to be more like Edge. And give him that big smile. Yeah, kind of like that DDP when he came to WWE. That almost. But
it was very like dull, like unhinged like nature to it, and it was kind of like he was like delusional at the same time. I liked it. This was great. This was great character work from Seth. I feel like the feud with Edge has brought back his mic chops, because Edge is a great promo. I feel like it's rubbed off on Seth Rollins, and he's brought his A game on promos that wasn't really there. Like, I was complaining for months during the Cesaro feud that Seth had kind of fell off from where he was, but he's right back where he was before, and now he's bringing the character work with it. Tonight was a really good job.
Edge says he's still going after the Universal Championship, so it doesn't look like he's going away anytime soon. So that is a very, very good thing for SmackDown, at least until he gets moved over to Monday Night Raw in the draft. Because I mean, if you look at these rosters right now, SmackDown is stacked. Absolutely stacked. And if you read the reports from guys like Andrew Zarian, USA ain't happy about it.
Why would you be happy? Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch come back and they both go to SmackDown. They already put Edge over there.
Cena for the majority of his run was on SmackDown. Finn Balor goes to SmackDown. If Adam Cole re-signs with WWE, he's probably going to end up on SmackDown.
It's so wrong. It's just so wrong what they did. They get Goldberg. That's wrong. That's the bone that they threw Monday Night Raw. You get Goldberg. There you go.
That man got booed out of the building. That was such the weirdest atmosphere I've ever been a part of. There was a tension in Allegiant that you could have cut the air with a knife. It was 51,000 people, allegedly. 51,000 people all going, please, dear God, don't don't let him win this match.
Mhm.
Couldn't even enjoy the damn thing because it wasn't bad until the stop finish there. But we're just sitting there, we're going, no, they can't do this. They can't do this. They can't take it off Bobby. They can't put it back on Goldberg. It was the strangest damn atmosphere I've ever been. And we all knew it. We all felt it. We all knew what it was. It was incredible to be a part of, to be completely honest with you, looking back on it. But yeah, that's what Raw gets. They get Goldberg. They had Edge and Orton last year. Now they get Goldberg. I think they're going to get Edge. I think they're going to get Kevin Owens. I think they're going to get Sami Zayn, a few of these other guys. I think they're going to try and split them out. What's going to be interesting is when the draft fires up, because Raw always gets the first pick. How the hell are they going to justify not taking Roman Reigns for a second year in a row, number 1 overall? How the hell are they going to justify not taking Becky Lynch? Because they're both staying on SmackDown.
You got to give it to SmackDown then, because they would look like goddamn idiots if they don't pick Roman Reigns first, or they don't pick Brock Lesnar first. They look like idiots.
That might be the saving grace, is Brock beats Roman for the title and then he gets drafted over.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby, because of course WWE would do this, Bobby would get drafted over to SmackDown. So now Brock and Bobby flip, and they're not on the same brand. But maybe they would.
You do. Big E beats Bobby for the WWE Championship while still being on SmackDown, and he still gets thrown. He's still on SmackDown after the draft.
There's a lot they could do, but yeah, if it comes to the night of, and Raw has the first pick, and it's not. And Roman Reigns is still the Universal Champion, and Becky Lynch is still the SmackDown Women's Champion, and and they take Bobby Lashley, number 1 overall, to keep the WWE title. What the hell are you doing? Last year it was bad when they took McIntyre over Reigns, and was a big and still am a big fan of Drew McIntyre. But there was a clear-cut number 1 draft pick, and they botched it. That would have been like the Bengals passing on Joe Burrow. You don't do it. You don't do it. The obvious choice sometimes is the right one. So it's going to be interesting to see how they set all that up. And who knows? Maybe Rollins, for the love of God, will be the Universal Champion. There's a lot that could go on tonight. We did have some matches tonight. Nakamura and Boogs versus the Dirty Dogs. Boogs gets the win for the second week in a row. I find that interesting that he's the one getting the pinfall victories and not Nakamura.
They're building up Boogs. He's got the Andrew Tess Martin finisher with the pump handle slam into the power slam. So
he stole my finisher. That's my finisher.
God damn it. God damn it.
Bitch. First he steals my name, then he steals my damn finisher. Come on, Boogs. What are we doing?
He's been watching the Uchino scouting tape, and he's like, I'm gonna take a few things. Next time, he's gonna be smoking a cigar as he plays his guitar to the ring. Watch it. You better watch it, Rick. But yeah, I mean, this was an okay match. The only thing that I took away from it was that we're still doing Nakamura versus Cruz, even though Nakamura is like 6-0 in tag team and singles matches against Apollo Crews. I think it's over, bro. I think it's time to move on.
Did I miss something with Apollo Crews? Because they were fighting the Dirty Dogs tonight. Did I miss something with Crews?
There was an inset promo with Crews basically calling out Nakamura and saying that he stole the Intercontinental Championship.
I must have stepped out of the room when that happened.
It's okay. But Boogs pinned the former world champion. So Boogs they're doing something with Boogs.
They're doing something. Maybe they're setting him up for a tag team title run as well. Who knows? Dominic had a pretty good match tonight against Sami Zayn. I was happy to see that Sami won that match because Dominic is still a rookie. He should be losing matches. So there is that. I thought Dominic looked pretty good in this match.
Yeah, I mean,
a little pissed off, showing some frustration with dear old dad. So obviously teasing that split there. So at least they progressed that storyline this week after kind of ignoring it for a little bit.
I like the progression of the story with the Mysterios. You just wouldn't have done the whole, it's a mystery partner and we don't know who it is, because that led many people like me to be like, is it Adam Cole? Is Adam Cole here?
They did that on purpose.
I know they did it on purpose. It's just Sami Zayn, and I want to be happy to see Sami Zayn back on my TV. But it was just like, it could have been Adam Cole. This is a letdown. But I mean, I hope that Adam Cole winds up on TNT in some way. That's just me. But Hey, yeah, but
It's
I like
possible. It's
I like this. I like what they're doing with Dominic Mysterio, and I hope it leads to Dominic versus Ray for the mass. The legacy of the Mysterios on the line in the mass.
And then we can have Ray leave WWE. Dominic can have his legacy, and then we can get Ray Phoenix and Ray Mysterio together in AEW.
There you go. Everybody gets what they want.
Especially me, and that's what matters in life is I get what I want. All right, let's talk about the thing that was really the most important thing that happened tonight, and that was the leading up to the family celebration. Paul Heyman was an MVP tonight.
Paul Heyman was the MVP of Friday Night Wrestling.
I mean, the guy is a nervous wreck, doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's trying to ignore Kayla. Kayla played her role extremely well, just stalking Paul Heyman tonight, basically like, hey, what about Brock? What about Brock showing up? What's going on here? Because Paul Heyman should be a central figure in this Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar storyline because for obvious reasons. So then he goes and tries to get in the locker room. It's locked. And he can't get in. He's standing out there throughout the entire commercial break. He can't get in. Come back. He's still standing there. Kayla Braxton's still standing there. She's like, what's up? Then the Usos come out and they're like playing the role of interrogators.
Yes.
Like, hey, you can tell us. Did you know? You knew. You knew, bro. That's why you sent us to the back.
He's like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me who sent you to the back. The tribal chief wanted you to go to the back. I love the interplay. That was probably my favorite segment of the night. Was the interrogation of the Usos saying you knew where Brock was showing up. It's okay. You could tell us. Well, the tribal chief is not here, so you can stand out here. You could wait here. And I love Roman Reigns just acting like nothing happened. Like he's like, you gonna open the door for me?
Yeah. Like Heyman is like waiting all night for daddy to punish him, basically. Not realizing that in Roman's mind, he didn't do anything. He's like, he knows Paul had nothing to do with it. Unless he's setting him up and Roman's just playing coy. You just don't know. And that's the beauty of Roman Reigns' character. But the whole night, Roman's just acting like everything's normal. Everything's fine. He's like, here, hold my belt. Open the door for me. Come on down to the ring with us. You're family. I love you. Let's go. Here's the mic. Hype us up. Do what you do. Cut that Paul Heyman promo.
I love him calling him. He's calling him wise man now. That's the perfect word. He's like wise man. You're a part of the family. I love you. Like it's just great. It's just great.
It was kind of borderline creepy, just a little bit. The way Roman delivered that line, and it was so damn good. And then he gets down to the ring, and he's like, "Here's the mic. Hype us up. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge the Usos." And then the one person that I was hoping, and we'll get to Brock because he didn't come in tonight. The one person I was hoping would show up in this segment showed up in the damn segment, and it was Finn Balor. We didn't get a Shinsuke Nakamura moment here where he earned a title opportunity and then they forgot about it, just let it blow off into the wind. No, here's Finn Balor. I'm here for my title shot. Enough BS. I'm not waiting till Extreme Rules. I'm not waiting for Edge to cut me in line. I'm not waiting for Seth Rollins or this, that, and the other. I want you next week. And before he can even answer the question, he chucks the mic at him. He starts beating the crap out of him. Then he gets beat down 3-on-1. He doesn't care. Okay, the Street Profits coming out. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Though he has no allegiance whatsoever.
They're both from NXT.
I guess that's it. There's the Street Profits coming out. I'm sitting here like, this makes no sense, but I don't care because this means we're getting the Usos and the Street Profits. That's what that means. That's our next tag team title feud. That's all I give a damn about.
Yes.
But the whole time I'm waiting for Brock to come down. Not having Brock Lesnar on this show was a very interesting choice. Again, means we're slow playing it. But I swear to God, I saw WWE promote the fact he was going to be on this show. At some point in time, I thought I saw that. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I confused it with something else. But I thought they said that both Brock and Becky were going to be on this show tonight. So I was really confused when Brock didn't come down at first.
I never heard WWE confirm it. I heard more of like the fallout and reaction to Brock Lesnar's return. I didn't technically hear them say that Brock was going to be on the show. So I like the Finn Balor coming out because it makes more sense. You got Extreme Rules coming up. Brock's either going to be for Saudi Arabia or Survivor Series. You do want to slow burn it, so you don't want the immediate reaction. We got the immediate reaction from the interplay between Roman, the Usos, and Paul Heyman, and that's enough of the reaction to, you know, come off of the Brock Lesnar return and you building towards something else. You know, I hope that we do Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules and not next week because of his, you know, he made the challenge for next week, or we get Roman versus Finn versus Edge versus Seth, like a fatal four-way of some type at Extreme Rules, because that's a stipulation. You don't want to blow off all your stipulations in one matchup and make that an Extreme Rules. Give us a fatal four-way as the stipulation there.
The only problem with that is if you do that match at Extreme Rules where it's all four of them, Roman's obviously going to win, and then you just burn through three challengers in one match, and the only guy.
No, you know WWE. If the person didn't get pinned, they have a right to get back in it to them.
Or even if they've lost 6 or 7 or 8 matches in a row, they can just come out and challenge.
Exactly. But if you're going to Brock Lesnar at Saudi Arabia, it's a good thing to just go through it, because it would be, if they're going to do it in this way, if they're going to do Brock at Saudi Arabia versus Roman, you know, Survivor Series is going to probably be the champion versus the champion. And then, you know, you got TLC. By then, you can heat up somebody like a Finn Balor, and it feels like they've done a long-term story with it where Finn gets finally his one-on-one matchup at TLC, and then you're already into the next year, so it's not like you just blew through a whole bunch of people. Because the fact that Edge is saying that he wants another shot, I don't want to see another Edge and Roman Reigns match. It was great at Money in the Bank, but I don't want to see another one-on-one match with them, so I'd rather it be in a multi-man type of situation like that.
I wouldn't mind it. I'm wondering if they don't know what to do with Edge now, because like they did the match with Rollins and they've done multiple matches with Roman Reigns. So now it's like sitting here, okay, well, who's now on that Edge level? Who gives us that great matchup? I know there's dudes that Edge wants to fight, but are there dudes that WWE is interested in Edge fighting?
That's the key.
That's the question. Sign me up for Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. I mean, there's a number of dudes. Like, let's just treat Edge like a normal guy. Let's not treat him like a Hall of Famer. Just give us banger matches. That's all we want.
And Kevin Owens did good in commentary on tonight. Corey Graves I could have done without, but Kevin Owens was good on commentary.
He was good. He wasn't.
He wasn't McAfee. Yeah, he was.
I missed Pat McAfee. We do wish a speedy recovery. He did tweet out a video of him rocking out to Nakamura's entrance tonight, which was sorely missed. I would have loved to have seen Kevin Owens hop on the table and start doing the, tomahawk chop or something, whatever. That would have been really, really nice to see. But we did get confirmed from WWE, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Extreme Rules, and they are right now advertising that it's going to be Finn Balor and Roman Reigns next week. I'm going to call shenanigans. That's going to set up maybe a cage match or something at Extreme Rules. And you know what? Seeing as I'm going to be at Extreme Rules because it's in Columbus, Ohio, and that's a 90-minute drive from me, I will happily take Becky and Bianca. I will happily take Roman and Finn or Seth and give them all to me. I don't care. Let's go. I'm ready to watch a great show live. So overall tonight, I thought SmackDown, while it lacked in-ring action, it wasn't all that great tonight in the ring. A lot of great storylines, a lot of great seeds were planted, a lot of good things to like about SmackDown tonight. I think it was the exact opposite for Rampage tonight. This just felt like, okay, we're going to fill an hour tonight. That's what this felt like. You had the opening segment tonight with Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. I was rooting for Jurassic Express, but I understand why the Lucha Brothers won this matchup. These guys work very, very well with one another. Sets up a great fight at All Out with the Young Bucks. Somehow I think the Young Bucks are still going to win because they're never going to drop those damn tag team titles. They always find a way. I get it. They're really, really good. I love the closing sequence. maybe not so much a dude kicking out of a destroyer, but it made Luchasaurus look really, really strong to kick out at 1, take a bunch of punishment, kick out at 2, and then finally just get blasted for a 3rd time, and he was done after Jungle Boy got taken out. Couple things, though, Sid, and I want to get your opinion on these. I'm really over the super kick. I'm so damn over the super kick. I don't want to see another super kick ever in a match again as long as I live. I cringe when I see 20 of them in one damn match, and we get them so often in AEW. We get a lot of them in WWE too. And the setup spots. In what world did it make sense for all 3 of those guys to just stand there for 30, 40, 50 seconds waiting for Rey Fenix to give a Hurricane Rana to Jungle Boy onto the outside? They either got to hide it better. They either got to hide it better with the cameras or stop doing them, because AEW does a lot of these setup group spots that don't make any sense in a professional wrestling match whatsoever when you look at the number 1 rule, which is make it believable. None of these spots are believable, and that's one of the things that drives me insane about AEW.
Hey, I love this match. I thought this was a phenomenal opener in front of a hot crowd, because this was not a live show. This was taped after Dynamite, after they saw a AEW Dark Elevation taping. So for that crowd to be as loud as it was and reacting to everything the way it was just great. I don't mind the setup spot with the Hurricane Rana, because I mean, they kept it off camera for a lot of it, not focusing on the 3 guys at ringside. And I like the 50 super kicks, because that put over Luchasaurus, especially at the end. The earlier spot kind of set it up with the ending for, everybody trading the super kicks, and then the ending was just like, we're just gonna go spam on this, and it kind of sets up them to be the perfect challengers for the Young Bucks, who are the super kick party and all of that. So it makes sense for them to win that way, because it sets them up, and it put over Luchasaurus. That was the main thing that I thought the finish did, because that's what AEW I think does extremely well, and probably better than any promotion outside of like New Japan. When a person loses, it almost is as if they gain more by losing in certain ways more than they would if they won. And I felt like they did that with Luchasaurus. And I love the fact it was Luchasaurus getting the loss and not Jungle Boy, because I feel like Jungle Boy is a future star, is a future AEW world champion. So you need to protect him, and, not having him take the loss here because he just took the loss in the Young Bucks match made a lot of sense for me. But like Dutch said earlier, the Lucha Bros are one of the best tag teams in the world, and them against the Young Bucks at All Out makes a whole lot of sense. I was there live, All Out 2019. The Escalera de la Muerte ladder match is one of the top 3, top 5 matches in AEW history, and them inside of a steel cage with the Young Bucks, it gives me the feeling for the first time in a long time in the Young Bucks reign that they can lose these AEW World Tag Team titles, because a lot of these other matches that they've had in the past couple of months, I didn't feel like the other team could beat them. This one I do, and I feel like the Lucha Bros would be the perfect tag team to beat them, because they've kind of always had their number, especially in AEW. They beat them at All Out 2 years ago. I could see them beating them again.
I would have loved to have seen them pull the trigger on Mox and Kingston.
Oh,
Give him a 1-month reign or something. Have him drop him to him in a rematch. I would have loved that. Crowd would have gone nuts.
Yeah,
if Moxley and Kingston, especially if Kingston was the one that got the pinfall. I would have loved to have seen that. But as Steven says here, wait for Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers at All Out. We might see 50 super kicks. I'll set the over at 35, and I will take.
I want to. If you remember that ladder match, I guess the best spot and the highlight of that match was Pentagon hitting a Canadian Destroyer off a ladder through a table. I need a Canadian Destroyer off the cage through a table or to the ring. That might be one of the greatest spots ever seen in a cage match. What these guys can do together, they're just the perfect mix of each other, because I feel like they're the perfect opponents for each other. They had an almost 5-star classic at Double or Nothing 2019. Like I said, the Escalera de la Muerte is probably the closest thing of a ladder match that I've seen to, what Edge, Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys, as far as like insanity with ladders. That was the closest thing that I've seen to it, and I think they can do that with the steel cage. So I'm very much looking forward to All Out 2021. That match getting set up here, and what we talk about with Miro and Eddie Kingston has completely changed my opinion of the All Out card, because I've been seeing people kind of down on it. It does have more rematches than we're used to on AEW pay-per-view cards, but I think that we have 5 or 6 matches that are going to be 4 stars or better and a great match. People might have different opinions on what is the match of the night, because if all of these matches deliver, it's going to be an all-time card.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, there was a report that was put out by Body Slam, who, by the way, nailed the Daniel Bryan signing. At least we think that Mr. Bryan Danielson will be making his debut. Spoiler alert: will be making his debut at All Out in Chicago.
And that makes it even more of a can't miss. You got CM Punk's comeback match for the first time in 7 years against Darby Allin. And I know there's a lot of people that are skeptical, saying, CM Punk hasn't been in the ring for 7 years. I think that CM Punk is going to do great. I think that CM Punk has the perfect opponent in Darby Allin, someone who can bump around for him, make him look like a beast. And if CM Punk pulls out the Pepsi plunge for the first time in 15 years, as an FU to the guy who made up the pedigree, because it's a top rope pedigree. If you don't know what the Pepsi plunge is, it's a top rope pedigree. Darby Allin is the perfect person to take that move. That match is going to deliver. And the vignette that they played after the opener made me believe that this is the main event, and it should be.
Oh,
I don't think nothing else. Like Omega and Christian is going to have a great match, but they shouldn't be the main event. We've seen that match. This is the match that is going to get people to make this one of the biggest buy rates in AEW history. So Darby and Punk needs to main event.
Steven says Darby versus Punk may steal the show. I agree with you. Paul says I hate to see Darby lose, though.
Darby doesn't lose anything. That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Just being the first opponent for CM Punk, that's winning.
Exactly.
You're over. That's it. Ozzy with a question. When is NXT moving to Fox? They are not moving to Fox. I think they would move to Peacock before they move anywhere. I think they're either going to be on USA or they're going to be a Peacock-only product.
What did you think of the new logo?
It reminded me, I feel like I've seen it before. I feel like I've seen it on In Living Color. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of AEW's logo, if I'm going to be completely honest.
It reminded me of the AEW Dynamite logo or Rugrats.
I went In Living Color first. Remember they used to have that, paint opening? Yeah.
No, but it reminded me of Rugrats, because you remember when Tommy throws all the paint on that. That's Phil. No. He puts. It's Tommy. Right? It's Tommy when he pours the bottle at the screen, and then all of it comes up in different colors, and that's the Rugrats logo.
I gotcha. Well, bet you didn't think I was going to drop an In Living Color reference on this show, did you?
Or In Living Color and Rugrats, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you watch Smack Talk.
This is also how you know we were born in the 80s. All right. Dutch Mantel would not know what either one of those shows was. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, you probably figured it out by now. Dutch is not going to be joining us again tonight. His internet completely crapped out on him. We'll try like
I said, super chat. We're getting Dutch a laptop. Super chat it.
Doesn't have to be anything great. Just something with a really, 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 really good internet connection for sure. I did like Miro coming out tonight. Miro's always great to see. I love him kicking Fuego del Sol down the ramp. Just to further kick the crap out of him because he didn't think he should have taken the contract. I loved him ripping off the mask. Another damn super kick, but anyway, whatever. He takes his head off.
Mashka kick.
Yeah, okay, but it's
like a pump super kick. It's the Mashka kick.
You can put a wig on a pig. It's still a damn pig. All right.
It's a pretty pig.
He does it great. That's fine. I just wish. You will never see me, probably because I can't do one, but you will never see me do a super kick in a match.
If you can't do one, it doesn't count.
I can do a V trigger. Anyway, maybe. We'll see. But I love the Miro segment. I loved him calling out Eddie Kingston. I love Eddie Kingston coming out and have the mic like he's about to rip on him. And he's just like, F it. Chucks the mic, goes down there. I would have liked to have seen more of a brawl out of these two guys before the referees kind of split them up. It was very kind of like a ho-hum kind of brawl. It wasn't really, I mean, he got him up for the the suplex. He tossed him over, but I don't know. It was a little lackadaisical of a fight for me before the referees pulled him apart. But more importantly, this match has been made official for All Out. So that adds to that card. I wouldn't put it past him for Eddie Kingston to pull off the shocker here, but I think that would be the wrong move.
No, you gotta keep it on Miro, and if Eddie ever wins a title, it needs to happen in New York, because me and everybody else from New York that have watched him for 20 years on the independents will lose our minds seeing Eddie Kingston. No matter what title it is, if we see Eddie Kingston win a title, we're going nuts. I would love for them to, have Miro win in a way that protects Eddie and then do a rematch at Arthur Ashe, and then you could do the title change there. But I think Miro's on the run of his career right now as God's favorite champion and the Redeemer. So you got to keep it on him.
Yeah. As real quick, Ozzy says Dutch is the Fire Marshal Bill. Very good callback to both In Living Color and the show last week when Dutch's fire alarm actually went off. Steven says, I don't see anybody beating Miro. I don't right now. That's for sure. They need to keep Miro as I mean this until they're ready to move him up to the AEW title picture. They need to keep him as the TNT champion, because Miro is a guy, the way he's booked right now, that guy is an all elite world heavyweight champion. There's no doubt about that right now. Paul says he needs his hot wife to join him in all elite. I agree. I would love to see Lana whenever her non-compete is up. Might be up already. I've lost track of how many days she's been gone now. I would love. He's been dropping way too many Lana hits for Lana to not show up, right? Like, yeah. CM Punk gave me a little bit of hope that we're going to see AJ Lee at some point because he actually brought her name up on television. So give me April Lee in All Elite. I'll take it. Just give me it. She can wear a yellow jacket, a yellow leather jacket. We can go full Ninja Turtles with the April name. I don't give a crap. There's another 80s reference for you. But I just want to see her back. I just want to see her back, and that gave me a little bit of hope. And as much as Miro is dropping his wife's name, because not everybody knows he's married to Lana in real life, it gives me hope that she'll be there as well. DJ Eric with a super chat, $5. We thank you. Rick Ucchino wants to be the next America's Moist Superstar, loves Moist TV. No, I don't. I hate that word. I hate it with a passion. I hate the fact that you made me say it twice.
Great job.
So thank you for that.
Everybody super chat and say moist in it now.
Jesus. Eric does say TNT rules from the late 80s. Yes, I agree with you, until they made the third one. The third one kind of jumped the shark.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the new ones, I love you, Sheamus. Interviewed him this past week. Love really you, Sheamus. Bad. You can check it out on the YouTube channel for Sportskeeda. By the way, subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. We are so close. We're like 25 people away from hitting 20,000 subscribers. So please, please, please do that. Paul says we remind him of Bebop and Rocksteady. Although he says Rick Steady, that's good. That's very, very good. But yeah, no, those new Ninja Turtle movies were awful. They were just terrible. Really bad. They were a complete. Did you know we all had dormant animal genes, Sid? I could go all day on why that movie was so damn bad, but we're already at an hour and a half and we haven't even finished Rampage yet. We do appreciate everybody who's sticking with us here. It's 12:34 in the morning. Dutch, if he was still on the show, would be yelling at us right now to end this damn thing. Kamar asking, Punk challenges Daniel Bryan. I would love to see Punk and Daniel Bryan wrestle, but I think that's one of those matches we're not going to see for a while.
Yeah, you don't.
One, because Punk wants to wrestle new people. And two, that's a match that has a 2-year build to it.
Yeah, you don't immediately go to that. I mean, I was telling people were telling me that Moxley should have been Punk's first opponent. I was like, no, you don't have Punk come in and verse someone he versed in WWE or could have versed in WWE. He's got to verse somebody new. And I think the same thing for Daniel Bryan when he comes in. I mean, I'm interested to see where he's aligned. If he's coming in at All Out, I wouldn't be surprised if he debuts after Omega beats Christian and sets up a match up there. opener, start off right at the top and then trickle his way down to verse like the Daniel Garcias of the world and people like that. Because Daniel Bryan wants to verse Daniel Garcia. He sees how that guy works and he's like, oh, put me in the ring with him. But
I don't even think you start off with Daniel Bryan and Omega, to be honest with you, because I still think you got to go back to the Hangman Adam Page angle at some point. Relatively,
but you need I think if they're debuting him at All Out, they want a big time main event for Arthur Ashe, and why not set it up right there with Omega and Daniel Bryan? Like, that's his first match in AEW. He starts right at the top and versus Omega at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and then Omega can beat him there, but you set up like another angle with Daniel Bryan, or have the Elite get involved, and then Hangman Page comes back after that match. I could see something like that. I think Hangman Page is going to be the guy that beats Omega for the title, but I don't think that Daniel Bryan is the type of guy that would come in and he doesn't necessarily have to win his first match or first feud, in my opinion. Daniel Bryan's just that type of guy.
That's why I would make it a number one contenders match. I would have Daniel Bryan challenge, like step up to Omega, but the match you make is Bryan versus Hangman for the number one contender for the AEW title, and then you have Hangman win, because you're right, you don't need Daniel Bryan to win his first matchup back, and you don't need to rush into Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan. You got plenty of time. You can slow play a lot of things. That seems to be the theme of the show tonight, is the slow playing, both AEW and WWE, and both are good things. You don't need to rush into anything. Tay Conti versus the Bunny, I actually thought was a really, really good match tonight. I love the facial expressions from the Bunny. I love Tay's offense. It felt like the end of the match, though. She hit way too much stuff for the Bunny to still be standing, and then just, I hate DBS. Do you know what DBS is? Dumb babyface syndrome.
Yes.
I hate dumb babyface syndrome. Tay Conti just gets completely distracted by Penelope Ford, who got absolutely no reaction. I think the crowd was pretty much dead for the rest of this show after the opener. Didn't even get a lot in the main event tonight from the crowd, which is strange for an AEW show. It could have just been, hey, this is, we're taping this.
They saw Elevation, they saw 2 hours of Dynamite, and they were hot for the opener, and then that killed even Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Finals MVP. He was the best part. He was one of the best parts of that opener. Him reacting to everything was just fantastic, and it made AEW feel big time, seeing him in the crowd and seeing him get into everything like that. But yeah, I mean, I hated the way that Tay Conti lost, because she hit like 15 moves in a row. The TKO, which Bunny didn't even really sell, which has finished other people, and then she gets distracted, and then the brass knuckle finish, that was just lame. That was a Monday Night Raw type of finish.
Yeah, it was definitely a waste of a 15 match win streak, for Conti. So, and I know this is all like setting it up to like, oh, well, anybody can win the battle royal or whatever the hell it is.
The Casino Battle Royale.
Thank you, the Casino Battle Royale at All Out. So maybe, I don't know. Steve says he's predicting Thunder Rosa to win to set up a match with Britt Baker. I wouldn't be mad at that. But I think the Joker is going to win.
I think Thunder Rosa is going to get versus Britt next year. I think that was the report from Dave Meltzer and Wrestling Observer, and it makes sense to me, because you would have wanted to do it here. I think that the Joker is going to win, and I think the Joker is going to be Ruby Soho.
I'm hoping, because you want to talk about all the people that AEW has brought in this year: the Andrades, the Christians, the Miros, the CM Punk, obviously Daniel Bryan's on the way. Then there's reports we could see Adam Cole and we could see Bray Wyatt. I want to see some names added to that women's division. There are a lot of really, really talented, high-profile women that are out there right now that they could elevate up that women's division for sure. Because outside of Britt Baker, is there really anybody who's over in the women's division? And
Thunder
Rosa. You got two. There's nobody else. I mean, Penelope Ford came out. Nobody gave a shit.
No.
Nobody cared that Penelope Ford came out. Nobody cared about this match at all, which is a shame, because, you got Ali and Tay Conti. They're both really good, but nobody cared. Nobody's invested in anybody on the women's roster other than Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. That needs to change. You got to bring in some people that they're hot for. People like the Iconics, people like Ruby Soho. All right. People like AJ Lee, fingers crossed. Somebody like that. If AJ could come back and just work the Brock Lesnar schedule. I don't know what her health is. She seems to be in great shape still. Hell, she could just come back and be Punk's manager. I don't care. Just get her back on my TV screen.
I'm with it. I would be fine with it.
I'm totally fine with it.
AJ Punk.
Yeah, there we go. I don't even think we really need to talk about the main event tonight, do we? Because this was just a waste of time for me.
I got into a debate with somebody. People was like, oh, why is this match happening? I feel like AEW is doing the WWE booking of doing tag matches before the pay-per-view. I was like, wait, that's not a WWE booking. That's like 80s NWA. You do a multi-man or a tag match to set up a pay-per-view. Don't think that WWE invented that. That was something way before even they started doing it. But I knew what this match was going to be. I even told the person, I was like, this match happened because they jumped Christian and Kazarian made the save. But I guarantee you, Christian and Omega were barely, if any, going to have physical contact. And they didn't. Omega did one move to him. Christian tried the kill switch, and then Kenny got the hell up out of there. This match was about Brandon Cutler getting his butt kicked for 8 minutes, and that was it. That was pretty much it. Christian got the victory on him. Christian looks strong. Christian has showed that Omega is scared of the quick kill trick.
Does he look strong beating the crap out of Brandon Cutler?
He looks strong getting another victory. He's undefeated. He's undefeated in AEW. So Christian looks like he can beat Kenny Omega. He beat him on the first Rampage. He's gotten a victory here in tag team action. So it looks like Christian is the biggest obstacle for Kenny Omega, which for a match that no one was interested in when they first announced it, they have done a good job in at least getting a minuscule of intrigue into it. So I think they're going to deliver a great match at All Out, but nothing much to talk about here.
Yeah, no, they're going to have a great match. Kenny Omega's going to win. I think it was pretty much a slam dunk. I would be stunned, absolutely stunned with everything, because they're really good at building long-term. And the long-term finish here is Adam Page beating Kenny Omega for the AEW World title. Whether it happens next month, whether it happens next Christmas, whether it happens in 2024, Hangman Adam Page is beating Kenny Omega for the AEW World title.
Yes.
But just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
No.
I think this match is going to deliver. I would almost open the damn show with it, to be honest with you, because I think it's going to be that good. It's a good curtain jerk match, especially when you know you're building toward the end of the night with Punk and Darby, and then you know what? I would have the TNT title be your main, or the tag team title match be your main title match of the night before you get to the main event.
I mean, I could see it being the semi-main, because I would want something like Pac and Andrade, which is something that I fear, if it's not the opener, will not get enough time on the show. I would want that to be the opener, because then you can give it like 10, 12 minutes and they will deliver a great match. And that's what Andrade needs. Andrade really, more than any of the signings from AEW right now, Andrade needs a great match. And that's what he will get if he gets 10 to 12 to 15 minutes with Pac at the pay-per-view.
Paul asks who beats Christian for the Impact World title. Sammy, I would go with somebody who's actually under contract in Impact. That would be my suggestion. Actually, putting that title back on somebody who actually works for the company.
I'm gonna go with
Braun Strowman would work fine.
I'm going to go with Josh Alexander. I think they've been doing a great job building him up as X Division champion. X Division champion has the option C, so I can see him like cashing in option C to verse another Canadian, another great Canadian, and he's a great Canadian. And I think that would be the perfect person to put the title on. And I thought the same thing when Omega was champion. I thought Josh Alexander was the person to beat him.
I actually do like Steven's idea. Like I could see Christian doing like an open challenge on an Impact, on an episode of Impact or their next pay-per-view. And all of a sudden Braun Strowman, or whatever the hell his new name is going to be, just comes out there and Christian just gets that, oh, fudge look on his face. And he's just like, I have done messed up. And then Braun Strowman kicks the ever-loving crap out of him, because that's how that match would go. Christian would fight to the end, but he would get decimated, and Braun Strowman could be the Impact World Champion.
Or Buddy Matthews. I'd rather him.
Another one.
I'd rather Buddy Matthews or Josh Alexander. Yeah.
But Buddy Matthews would be a better match, by the way, also known as Buddy Murphy for those who don't know. I think we're ready to put this baby to bed. We have been talking for an hour and 40 minutes, and it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and my kids are probably going to be up in 4 hours. I have been going on 1 hour of sleep this entire day.
It's me. That's my life.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you got 1-year-old twins. It happens, man. I know you got 2 kids too, so it happens.
I have a 2-year-old who is battling an infection right now and is rotating between 101 and 104 degree fever. So she's constantly up. She finally sleeps through the night last night. And then my son is up until 4 o'clock in the morning. And then my alarm went off at 5 for work. I'm going to go sleep now, guys. By the way, make sure to keep an eye on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. For those CM Punk fans out there, our own Kev Kellum was able to go to the Heels Episode 3 premiere this week. Yes, Steven, I agree. Talk to the Reds. They're never going to lose again. They beat the Marlins again tonight. Anyway. Second wild card, baby. Anyway, so... Kev Kellum went to the season or the episode 3 premiere of Heels, which is a great show starring Stephen Amell and CM Punk, Phil Brooks on the Stars Network. If you haven't watched it, it's fantastic. Have you watched it at all yet, Sid?
Oh, I love it. That's my mom even watches it. My mom loves it. It's perfect.
It's a great show. That is probably the best 2 opening episodes to a show I've watched, at least in quite a long while, probably since before The Walking Dead. As far as great openings to a show, I can't wait to watch.
Ace of Spades, the top heel. He should be the top heel. Ace of Spades.
I can't wait to see Ricky Rabies, played by Phil Brooks. He is showing up this week. So that premiere was in Chicago because, of course, CM Punk does everything in Chicago now. And our own Kev Kellum was there. He got to ask Punk a question. Got a nice video package that is up on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. So go check it out. A great story of Punk telling the inspirations behind the Ricky Rabies character, and also led to a story about his first match against a big name ever for him. A fantastic story that involves nacho cheese. That's your tease. It involves nacho cheese and a hot ass barn. So make sure to hop on there, give Kev Kellum some love. And again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel, please do it now. We are inching ever so closely to 20,000. When I first started working here, I think we were at like 1,700. So to get to 20,000, which is something, all of us here on the video section of Sportskeeda Wrestling have been building towards, that would be huge for us. So thank you for everybody who's tuned in, everybody who commented, everybody who engaged with us, everybody who put up through Dutch's internet connection issues. We really, really appreciate you guys. And we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, talking about SmackDown, AEW Rampage, getting ready for an AEW pay-per-view weekend. Always good. That was the other problem with Rampage tonight, by the way, because those first 2 were so hyped. Yeah. And then tonight, it just felt like, here's an hour of wrestling. I think next week, heading into All Out, they'll ramp it up for sure. We appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Go Reds, go Bengals. Joe Burrow, don't get hurt. Sid, stay off the Twitter this weekend. I really don't feel like getting in an argument with you. Okay?
I'll try.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.